Tracker! Taking heavy fire!
I'm Mike Stubbsy, esports editor at God is a Geek, and I am on the show floor here in LA for E3. Now, yesterday was the first day of the conference, and I got to go to the 2K booth to see a hands-off presentation. It was only about 10 minutes long, of the new XCOM game, XCOM 2, that I can't remember the subtitle name of. As I said, it was hands-off, being presented to us. We did see some gameplay, although it wasn't particularly long. So I'm just here to give you my brief thoughts on what I saw, what's different, what looks the same, and how it's shaping up from what I briefly saw. So things started off with a bit of a setting the scene. The game is set 20 years after the humans lost to the aliens, and so the aliens have sort of taken over the world. They run this, what looks like militant state kind of thing. And XCOM is the underground resistance that is trying to defeat the aliens sort of from the inside. So it's a totally different setting to last time, because instead of being like humanity's main fight against the aliens, you're this small group of like underground people just trying to get rid of these aliens that have come in here and taken over Earth. And so in the demo that we saw, the story around this was that there was a statue being unveiled to commemorate the 20th anniversary of some special day where the aliens and humans joined or signed something. So this big statue was being unveiled, and the XCOM team has decided that they want to blow it up because that'll be a moral victory, and it'll give like the people that don't like the aliens hope that there's still a chance to get rid of them. And so things start out. It's a fairly big area that we were playing in, and things start out where we're quite a way back. We can see a crowd of people off in the distance looking at the statue, and then there's a couple of guards, which are human guards with big sets of armour and guns, that are sort of protecting it. So our squad of 4 people, one of them had a bomb, and the other 3 were just trying to protect the one that had the bomb. The one that had this bomb had to get to the statue, place the bomb so that would blow up. It only took probably 2, maybe 3 turns to get from where we started to the statue that was going to be blown up. And the movement looked exactly the same. Like, the gameplay looked very, very similar to what it was in XCOM Enemy Unknown. You move, you can move to locations, you get behind cover, and then you pick your shots on enemies and stuff like that. So, gameplay-wise, it looked very, very similar. Especially at the outset, anyway. We got into a couple of fights with guards, we took them out, we took a couple out before they knew that we was there. That gave us a bit of an advantage, and then some more guards started to scramble on their turns to sort of come and protect the statue. Didn't work out too well because the person with the bomb managed to get there, just ran there pretty much straight away in 3 turns. They planted the bomb, and once they did that, this massive alien enemy thing, big white bulking thing, smashed through into the arena, and the team members handily decided that they wouldn't be able to fight it because it did look massive. And by this point, I feel like one of our guys was already dead. So we was probably going to be down to 3. And then when this thing smashed through, I think he killed another one. So we was down to 2 members. And these 2 members, instead of trying to fight it, because they had fought an alien like snake guard thing earlier on, and that didn't go too well. I think that's what killed the first guy. So instead of trying to fight this alien that was clearly more powerful than them, they decided to run away. And so they tried to move from the statue towards a extraction point, which they set out themselves. They picked it on the map, marked it with some flares. So they tried to move into this area where they could get extracted by plane. But before they could do that, the woman that had planted the bomb was... This bit wasn't so clear. She was either knocked down or she was killed. But that wasn't made clear which one. But obviously she was sort of out of the game for that turn. So what the final character did is, instead of just running to the extraction point, he went back, picked her up, and then took her to the extraction point. So presumably she is now saved and can be revived once they get back to their hub area. and she will be still a character, because obviously in XCOM there is permadeath, and you do create the bonds with your characters, so seeing them die is not going to be pleasant. So if you can save them, then that's going to be nice. What I will say is that while gameplay-wise it looks very similar, like all the mechanics were the same, the enemies were different, but you're still shooting them in the same way, you're selecting the target area and stuff like that. But the visuals of this looked amazing. Now, I'm going to say I don't know what it was running on. It presumably was PC, because I think it is a PC-only game at this moment. And so it did look absolutely incredible. It looked head and shoulders above the last XCOM, which looked pretty good on PC anyway. Everything was so crisp, so clear, and it, despite the sort of state of the world and how sort of bleak it is for the XCOM, it did look like quite a bright area and nice and colourful, because obviously it was a celebration that the aliens were putting on, so everything did look quite nice and bright and sort of popped out at you. So visuals wise it did look really, really good. There's not that much else to say on it really. It is more XCOM, and so if you liked the previous XCOM and the expansion, then I'm 90% sure you'll love this. Obviously I didn't get to play it myself, so there's not too much I can say authoritatively, but other than that, I think it's just important to note that XCOM is going to be your like hardcore PC game, and if you didn't like the last one, chances are you're not going to like this one. But if you did like the last one, you will love this, I am 90% sure. It was a very cool demo to see, although we didn't get to see as much as I would have liked. So I'm going to hold off speaking about it too much until I've seen a little bit more and hopefully had a chance to play it, but I don't think that's going to happen this week. That'll be sometime in the future. So that's all I've got to say on the new XCOM game. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully you'll be able to see some B-roll flashing up whilst I've been talking to give you a bit of an idea of what I did see. So thank you very much for listening. I've been Mike Stubbsy, that's at Mike Stubbsy on Twitter, and of course you can follow at God is a Geek on Facebook, youtube.com/GodIsAGeek, and you can head to godisageek.com for all your news, reviews, previews, esports, videos, E3 news, features, everything. The team over back home are doing a sterling job getting everything sorted. So thank you for listening, and I will speak to you next time.